guys, it is Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Get requested this one a lot. I recently did the new Metallica, and I had this one planned to do anyway, but I had to shoot out the new Metallica, obviously, very quickly for you guys. But I wanted to get to Of Wolf and Man. It was going to be my next one because it's probably the most requested song I have yet to do from Metallica, even though I've done almost 60. So we took a while to get into this one. I don't know why. It's very, very fun to play. So we're going to get through this entire thing, all the riffs, the whole solo, note for note, everything. So hope you guys will follow along. Now, before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel before you do anything else, if you have not already. And before you even do that, hit the like button, comment, watch the whole video. Really helps everything get pushed out to YouTubers that don't know anything about this channel, and really helps this video get seen and the channel get seen. So it's a way to help without costing you a thing. Now, if you do want to really support what I do here on YouTube and would like to learn the guitar, like more technique studies and theory studies, and really know what you're doing on the guitar, check out my Guitar Academy. You'll see a link to that in the description below. It contains all of my courses, from complete beginner courses to more advanced courses on technique, improvisation, ear training, and theory. I go live there every Saturday, just like a live stream for Academy members, so you can get your questions answered live every week. You get personalized support from me beyond that, so please come on and join us. Free 7-day trial by clicking that link. So let's jump into it. So I'm in standard tuning here, and we have this intro, which kind of starts on just hits on the low E power chord. You see them play this live. They might hit it with upstrokes, but it's really on the downbeat, so it's more natural, at least for me, just hit it with downstrokes. So you kind of hit 8, and then you can, so Kirk is kind of continue doing that. So they're kind of doing it together. And then Kurt continues like that, and James goes up to... So all that is open E string, and then on the upbeat, you're gonna catch this power chord at the 7th fret of the A string. So 7th fret on the A, 9 on the D. And you kind of continue that back to the open E, then upstroke on the power chord at the 8th fret, then open E, upstroke on the power chord at 9, open E, upstroke on the power chord at 10. It's a little chromatic. I'll repeat that like 4 times. All right, and then we have this. Very, very cool. So that's going to be, so that starts on the E power chord. So you kind of hit the E, open E chord, and then you do a down up on the low E string. And then you're going to pick the F power chord there, the 1st fret. So F power chord, back to the E, and then you're going to have this B power chord of this 5th fret, off the 2nd fret of the A string, then down to the 1st fret there, the A, same power chord. See how I'm going back and hitting that low E? And hitting that low E, go to the B power chord, then the low E again, then the B flat power chord. So it's that ring, and then do the same thing again. And then we ramp it up a little bit. So this is going to end up, we're still in the intro, but this is really the first verse that we're learning here. So so it's kind of continuing that rhythm, like down, down, up, then you hit, so down, down, up on the E, and then F power chord, E power chord. So, but when you get that E power chord, then we go back to the down, down, up on that again, and then into the B power chord, B flat power chord, the 2nd fret of the A and the 1st fret of the A. So this. Then the verse comes in, and we just continue the same thing. All right. right, so after we've done that verse, it goes into kind of a variation on this riff, which this riff coming up I really think is like the main riff of the song. And it also makes up the second verse. So we go from this verse, this is our first verse, into this riff. So we go into, he introduces that riff, and then he sings the second verse over that riff. Now, what is that riff? So it's like the same that we did before, but he jumps up here and grabs these here instead. So we have the same start. And then you're gonna come up here and instead of grabbing this at the second and first fret, you're gonna grab it at the 7th fret of the low E. So that power chord there, then down to 6. The reason why they do that, instead of playing it down here, is because they have this lick that ends it. So that lick is 5-7 muted on the low E string, and then over to the 5th fret on the A string, hammer 7, pull back off to 5, pull off to the open A. And then we have, it's really, you hear the 7th fret played twice, but he's hammering into it each time, like a quick little ghost note on the, grace note on the 5th fret. So you have a quick little, so you're not just playing it straight. You barely hear that 5th fret, but it's very quick. And then he does it again. So what it is. So all together. Just remind you guys when I'm doing that riff, open E hit there, 7th fret, open E hit again, and then we go into the, so don't forget those open E hits. So this is the second verse. So it's going to end it with that little thing that we did at the end of the intro. Well, in the intro at least. So once again, whenever you hear that part that leads us into the chorus, right? We have Kirk doing, and James is doing the chromatic order. You just hear it once there, and then it goes to the chorus. All right, so then we have the chorus. All right, so starts with this, the power chord there at the 2nd fret and the 1st fret on the A string. Then we have this, that's 0, the E power chord twice, then the F power chord once, then back to the E power chord twice. So this. Repeat that again. All right, so after you've done that the second time in the chorus, instead of coming back here again, you're gonna go up to 4 and 3 power chord off the A string. And then he's gonna do that same thing there, but we're gonna do it here. So that's that 2, 2, 3, 2, and back to the 4 and 3. So after I've done that a couple times, then we have this. So that's just that down, down, up riff, up to 3 now, back to 2. 2, 2, 2, 3, 2. So you do it a couple times. And then a few hits there on the F sharp power chord at the 2nd fret. And you kind of slide down and it goes back to the main riff again. So we basically have this. So basically like that. It's good to, you know, kind of like, as soon as you actually did, I guess you did that once, I might have said twice earlier. It's about knowing the riffs and where they're at, and if they play it once or twice, you know, just know the song well, and that'll help you. So anyway, from there, we just hit that hits, and then back to the main riff. So same as the verse, the 2nd verse. Same as the previous chorus. All right, and then we have this little section right before this rhythm that's played right before the solo section starts. And it's really just like we did the first verse, I believe. So that riff we went into in the intro and then continued for the first verse. It's basically they reintroduced that. And then we get to this solo rhythm where he does a few different things, a little bit new things. So before we do Kirk's solo, though, I'm going to show you the whole solo rhythm real quick that James is doing. So we have this. All right, so we start here with this kind of that same little rhythm. We're kind of continuing the gallop rhythm. So E, 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 F, E, and then just a couple of that gallop rhythm on just the open E. So, and then back to the. So that kind of whole thing right there. So you basically did that 3 times, and then you're gonna come up and hit the G power chord at the 3rd fret of the low E. Hit that a couple times, and then the F sharp power chord a couple times off the 2nd fret there. And then back to the rhythm. And then from there, it kind of goes in this kind of a chorus variation. So it's like this, the same familiar move there, that E, E, F, E, and then we get to that 2nd fret in the B power chord, the 2nd fret of the A, down to the B flat power chord, the 1st fret. Hold that, and then just go straight without doing that again. So we just have this 2, 1, then up to 4, 3 power chord off the A string. And then do that chromatic 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3, 4, 5, 6, just that same power chord just going up. And then we basically go into, from there we go into the main rhythm. Play twice. And then he holds that note. This is the end of the solo. And then we have this little ending, which is this 3rd fret power chord, then the open E, and then the 3rd fret power chord hit a couple times, then take it down to the 2nd fret. And then that takes us to the bridge. But now before we get to the bridge, let's learn the actual solo. So here you go. All right, so there is some really cool stuff in that one. There's he's kind of using lots of different types of licks and some chromatic stuff and some blues-based stuff. So some interesting stuff going on there. So let's start here with this first phrase, which kind of utilizes a lot of pull-offs of the open strings. So this first lick. Like kind of thing like that. So we're gonna start here with this on the second fret there on the G string. And you just do a quick hammer onto the 4, pull back off to 2, and pull back off to the open G. Then you're gonna, sounds like he picks that G real quick as soon as he pulls off. So kind of, sounds like there's 2 G's there because he pulls off to it and then he picks it real quick. So we have that like 3 times. And well, the third time you just kind of do the hammer to 4, pull back off to 2, pull off to the G, and then go straight over to the D string. So you don't hit the G string twice there. You just go to the second fret there on the D and pull off to the open D. So we have this. So that's kind of the very beginning of it. All right, then he's going to go kind of a descending lick. And this right here is the first time he hits the actual 5th fret on the G instead of the 4th. So he just does it once, but he plays the 5th fret on the G, pull off to 2, pull off to the open string. Then you're going to pick the 4th fret on the D, pull off to 2, pull off to the open string. And then the same thing there on the A, 4th fret, pull off to 2, pull off to the open. So we have this. So far we have this. Now from there we go back to the 2nd fret there on the G string. And he has a couple of picking kind of pitch harmonics where he'll hit like. And what he's doing is he's picking the 2nd fret there with the pitch harmonic and pulling off to the open G, and he does that twice, like a little double. So that's after you get that. So we get up here, and then you're gonna go back down by playing that 4th fret on the D, pull off to 2, pull off to 0, and you're gonna play that twice there on the string this time. And then you're gonna end it with 4, 2, 0, 4, pick 4, pull off 2, 0 on the A. So that's the end of that whole kind of section, the legato section at the beginning where you're kind of pulling off kind of across frets while you're kind of doing like a, whatever. You can see what I'm doing. I don't know how to explain it. So anyway, we have this so far. All right, now when we get to that open A, then he's going to do this chromatic lick that he goes all the way up. So he starts here at the 2nd fret on the A. You're going to pick that note and pull off to the open A. Then just go 1 fret higher at a time chromatically. So we go from 2, pull off to the open. Pick 3, pull off to the open. 4, pull off. All the way up till you get to the 13th fret. The last one you do is the 13th. Just like that. And then we have this lick. So that's gonna be a hammer on from 12 to 14 on the A, and then 12 to 14 on the D, over to 12 on the G, and then do a whole step bend at the 14th fret on the G, and then play 12 on the G, back to 14 on the D, to kind of resolve it. So. Now he does the kind of repeated lick. So that's going to start here at the 12th fret on the G real quick, just a quick 12 on the G to kind of lead into it. And then we get to a bend of the 14th fret on the G. And then he starts the actual lick. So this lick, common little blues lick, 12th fret on the B, hammer 15, pull back off to 12, over to 14 there on the G. So it's kind of a 4-note lick. And just repeat that. So it is. Or you can kind of, as you get going, you can just treat it as like a pull off from 15 to 12 over to 14 on the G. It's kind of like one of those things where whatever you like, you 3-note lick or 4. It kind of feels the same. So it ends in a kind of a bend at the 15th fret there on the B, a couple of bends. And then he's going to have this. So that's just, it's just kind of another kind of descending blues lick, common lick, kind of going down through the E minor pentatonic. So we have that 12th fret on the high E, and then 15, 12 on the B, and then to a bend to the 14th fret on the G. So you can do that a few times. Maybe 3 or 4 times. And then it's going to end it like this. So you kind of take the lick after that, like the 4th time, when you get to that bend at the 14th fret, release the bend, go down to 12 on the G, down to 14 on the D, and then go back up. Back to that 12 on the G, and then quick bend and kill it at the top of the bend, and then back to the 12 on the G, and you're going to end the lick there at the 14th fret on G. All right, then we have this section. So that's moving up here to the up to the double stops at the 15th fret there on the G and the B. Kind of you can slide into that on the D string, kind of sliding up to it, and then you hit that double stop a few times. And then we're going to pull off from the 17th fret double stops on the G and the B. So pick the 17s and pull off to those 2 15s. So we have that. So I just kind of do that pull off over to the 17th fret there on the D string. And then go back to the double stops at the 15th fret. So that's kind of the 4-note pattern. And he just repeats that. And then after he repeats it a couple times. And then he does this like that. Kind of a pull off between the 17 and 15s again. And then we go 17, 15, 17 on the D, over to 15 on the G. And then we have this section. So that comes back down to the 8th fret here. So that's going to be 10, 8, 10 on the D, over to 8 on the G, back to 10 on the D, back to 8 on the G. This is kind of a 3-note little, and then 10, 8, 10 on the G. And then kind of the same thing, 8 on the B, 10 on the G, back to 8 on the B. So with this. Little 3-note licks. And then we do this. So that's going to start with a bend at the 11th fret, a whole step bend at the 11th fret on the B. Then over to an 8 on the high E. Then roll over to the 8 on the B string. And then into a 12, bend at the 10th fret there on the G. Back to that 8 on the B string, and then pull off 11 to 8 on the B string. So this. And then you do a long bend there at the, just kind of hold the bend at the 11th fret on the B string. So he's kind of got this staccato picking. So he's playing that, and you mute the string by coming back down and putting the pick back up against the string. You can do it with alternate picking too. And then slowly release the bend over to 8 on the B and 9 on the G. And then we have this ending lick. So something like that. So he's gonna go into this. So we're gonna start by sliding into the 14th fret there on the D string. And then we have this this 12th fret here on the G string, hammer 14 and pull off to 12. And then we kind of start what really is, I guess you can call it the actual lick, which is, so after this little lead in basically, then you can just start 14, pull off to 12 on the G, on the B string. Then roll over to the 12th fret there on the G, and then play 12, hammer 14, pull back off to 12, and then end it there at the 14th fret there on the D string. I like to use my middle finger there, and that lets me get back up top to the beginning of the lick. So he repeats that lick a few times. So with this little lead in, and then so after you've done it like 3 times, then we have this to end it, which is just pulling off 14 to 12 on the G string, and then play 14, 12, 14 on the D, and into those double stops here at the 12th fret across the G and the B. And then he plays those double stops again, really let them slide down, and then once again, the double stops again. You kind of hear the double stops kind of repeating with this delay effect. But they're all there at the 12th. And then that takes us into the bridge section. So before I show you the little fills that Kirk is doing, he's doing some really long, cool notes over that. I'm going to show you what James is doing in the rhythm here in the bridge section. So that looks like this. All right, so very, very cool bridge here. So he starts with that same kind of, the same thing we've started a lot. It's just that little down, down, up, first fret, the F power chord, then back to the E. Then he's gonna mute the strings and keep that down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. That kind of gallop things. So he keeps that going for a couple measures. So we have basically this, repeated 6 times. So that's 4 times, a couple more. So you can see when it kind of a little bit of palm muting it, let it open on those hits. And then we take it to this F sharp. So he's kind of really building this up. So we have this, that F sharp power chord, same rhythm, hit that down, down, up to the 3, back down to 2. And then down, down, up on that F sharp again, and then jump up the 4th fret power chord off the A to the 3. So that's, he does that 4 times. And then from there we have this. So that's just a chromatic line here, 3rd fret power chord off the A string, 3, 4, 5, 6, again, 4, 5, 6. And that takes us to the last chorus there. All right, so now over that bridge, we have Kirk, it's kind of over on his neck pickup, and he does some volume swells into it. He might be doing it with his like a volume pedal, or he might actually just do it with his guitar. I usually do volume swells with the volume knob on the guitar, so I'm gonna do it like that. But it's kind of like this. So however you like doing your volume swells, it's just a bend, pick the, it's a slow bend from the 15th, whole step bend from the 15th fret on the B string. And then we do the same thing, 4th fret on the G. And then kind of swell into the 12th fret there on the G. All right, now we do another volume swell at the 15th fret bend on the B string again. And then it goes into this like. So after you get that bend, just then release the bend, pull off 15 to 12, and then play 14, 12 on the G. And then we're gonna come down here to the 2nd fret there on the G, pick the note, swell into it, so as you bend it up, pull off to the open G, and then over to the 4th fret there on the D there. And then it goes into the, kind of starts really kind of building it at the end of the bridge there, leading into the chorus again. All right, so then we have a little bit different chorus, a little bit extended chorus, looks like this. To the ending here. So it's very similar. So we start with that power chord hit that started the previous chorus. This is 2, 1 on the A string, and then the same. So it's the same so far. We've covered that already. That's the same there. Then we have this little ending. So he does that little 2, 2, 2, 3, 2. Does it like twice. And then it goes back to like you're starting the chorus again real quick. To the 2, 1 power chord off the A, but then jump up to the 4, 3. So it's a little bit odd. After that 4, 3, then you just do that same chromatic lick, 3, 4, 5, 6. You really kind of, you can almost hear like 3, 4, 5. And then on this, where the 6 goes, you can just kind of slide down. All right, and then we get to the ending, which is kind of mostly the main riff that we've been doing, with a little bit ending on it. So it looks like this. All right, so the same main riff twice. Second time, hold that last note, and then we have this. This is kind of how the solo ended, so this solo rhythm. So this is that 3rd fret power chord, open E, open, just the open E string, and then hit that 3rd fret power chord a couple times, then down to 2. And then while Kirk does, like he's done before, you have James going. And this one's a little bit different. So you're gonna hit remember the upstrokes here on this 7th fret power chord here off the A string. And then, and the 7, 8, 9. But here, what he does to end the song, he hits that upstroke on that 9, and then hits that 10 real quick on a downstroke because it ends on the downbeat. So at the very end of the song, remember you got Kirk going. And that is the end of Wolf and Man. Very, very, very of Wolf and Man. It is a very, very fun song to play. Just super, super cool. Thick riffs, a cool solo. Got just everything going on for it. Really cool verse. Kind of one of my favorite verses in all of Metallica land. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.